All right, so we will talk about Flutter. So here, do we have Flutter developer here? No one? Really? Okay, okay, that's fine, that's fine. We'll talk about it. So I am part of I'm member of the Flutter Montreal. So me, Billy, Ali, and Lance, we are the Flutter Montreal organizer. So we prepared the slide together. And if you want to join our community, I know there's not many Flutter developer, maybe one or two, I guess. You can come to the Discord channel, or you can find us in the fluttermtl.dev. All right, so here's the agenda, simple introduction, and then all announcement and some summary. All right, introduction. All right, so what is Flutter? Flutter is the cross-platform framework made by Google, and then it's heavily maintained by community. And why you use Flutter? It's portable, so you can make different the platform application, Android, iOS, desktop, web, I think Linux system, yeah, Linux, Windows, or macOS and everything. And it's beautiful. We control pixel by pixel on the application, so you can be creative as much as you want with the Flutter, and it's fast. It's like it's compiled into native code. So like you are making the C++ application, C application, you compile to native code. Flutter is the same thing. That's why Flutter is super fast. And Flutter is productivity. There's a dev tool. It's really good. So like the nice feature like hot reloading, you just save your code and then it right away it apply into your application. You can easily debug your code and then you can write the application easily. And it's open. So there's I don't know. I didn't check the rank in the GitHub, but star rank in the GitHub is like the first 10. So it's a really community-driven project. It's not only made by Google. All right, so just version. So Flutter 1.0 introduced after 2018, and then the 2.0 and 3.0. And now we have Flutter 3.22 and Dart 3.4. That's what we're going to talk today. All right, a little showcase. So I know there's not many Flutter dev here, but probably I want to show you that some big players are adopting Flutter. So Virgin Money, they recently adopted Flutter to make their mobile app. And Geico and Supercell, the gaming company, and Universal Studio, they also use the Flutter. And Canonical, I don't know if you know Ubuntu, the installer in the Ubuntu, that's written in Flutter. So Flutter is actually native in Ubuntu now. And LG, they are also adapting for their TV. So they are using the Flutter, embedding their Flutter into WebOS, I think. All right, so more announcement. So impeller, okay, so I'm gonna do it. All right, so impeller what is impeller? So it's a new rendering engine for Flutter. So Flutter used to use the rendering engine called Skia. There was a little bit of an issue of the performance when you do the heavy animation, the application, the frame rate was a little bit dropping, or sometimes it looked like stuttering and so on. So Google is fixing that by replacing the rendering engine with impeller. So that makes it, improving the animation, and then they are really focusing on the efficiency. So what they do is that they actually pre-compile all the shaders, so that normally when stuttering happening is when shader is compiling, right? So they pre-compile everything, so that makes it reduce all the stuttering and the performance issues. And they use hardware acceleration. So now they are using the Metal or Vulkan API to make it optimized. And yeah, thanks to the performance update, and now Flutter is also adapting the 3D. So it's not ready yet, but 3D is coming to the Flutter. I don't think I'm gonna play this one, but that is like side-by-side demo. Left side is Kia, and the right side is the impeller. So impeller is consisting the staying in the 60 frame rate, and then the other one is going drop and then up. So that is just circle is rolling, and then it's just showing you that left side is stuttering, right side is smooth. That's what they showing. But I don't think you can actually see it in this screen. So that's why I'm skipping it. All right, so what is new in the Google I/O for the impeller? Impeller was already there for the iOS. It was already stable support. But for the Android side, it was not supported yet. So Google announced that they finished Vulkan backend implementation. So if your Android phone supports Vulkan API, then now it's working. So here is the little bit the platform, the status of the platform. So iOS is default. If you compile any Flutter app, by default, it's running in the impeller. For the macOS, you need to do some flag to compile it. So it's working in that way. And then Android with the flag, you can actually make the impeller app for Android, but it's going to only work for the Vulkan API enabled devices. So modern devices all have Vulkan. So actually most of them is actually working. But for the older devices, you're still using OpenGL only. That still in development. So it's coming. All right. For the WebAssembly, Billy, you want to talk?
So for this Google I/O, we announced WebAssembly. So basically, when you build Flutter apps on the web, it renders with two modes, so Canvas, Kit, and HTML. So basically, for example, Canvas is like a canvas element, and you just draw on it. So they just did something new. They completely changed the rendering engine to wasn't. So to understand a bit why they go through WebAssembly, you have to understand what is a website and what is a web app. So basically, a website is more about indexing fast. So when you just type enter, you see the website, and it's basically made with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. When you go to an app, you don't expect that much thing. It will load slowly, but it will be complete. So you will have it has to be flexible, portable. So you might want it to be a PWA, for example, and also you want to reach high performance. So if you have a big application, you want maybe multiple animation or tables, I don't know, dashboards with graphics, you might go for WebAssembly. If you want some example of website, you have Flutter or Dart website. So basically what they wanted to show is Voda's website is only for searching, it's not application, and it's indexed. For example, if you look for a library, you can find it on. But when it comes to web app, they actually made Google Earth on web using WebAssembly. So if you go on it, what they said is like, what they try to say to show is, for example, Android, iOS, and web is using the same code base to show Google Earth, even on web. And Rive to make animation, and also Dartpad. So Dartpad is like online editor to run Dart apps, application apps, or just command line app. And it also has some games. If you want to try, you can see the code and run it in the browser. So what they announced for 3.22, it's WebAssembly stable. So now you can so what they expect from it, it's that you have the native one, so Android, iOS, it's running fast. And WebAssembly is actually 2 times slower than native. But compared to JavaScript, when you compare with web, it's even slower. So it's twice faster than JavaScript. So they had like a small example here. I don't think you can see from here. But so what about compatibility? So for now, Flutter by Google, it's available on Chrome. So what they needed from WebAssembly is the garbage collector. So the garbage collector, WebAssembly garbage collector is only available on Chrome 1.19, and Firefox is working on it. So they implemented, but they still have limitation. And Safari, we haven't heard about it. So to access to compile an app, you compile on web and you just specify, oh, I want it on wasn't.
Another feature that has been added to the stable is macros. Macros is a solution for the code generation. Like we always do the modeling in our programming language, it's in Android or Flutter. So right now we can use macros for the Dart, and we don't need to use build runner. Build runner is a code generation, but actually you have to run a command to generate your code. But macros are made with the augmentation classes, is a static programming language for making less boilerplate for your application, like from JSON to JSON or any other boilerplates. And is a compile time feature, so you can have your analyze option for that to check if you have any issue with your modeling. And what you can do, you can just add a meta. For example, JSON codable is a JSON generation, and you can use the macro within your generation folder. And there are some generated augmentation classes that you can use, for example, for the JSON and everything else. You can. There is also another feature. You can also add any generation tools within your programming, not only JSON, and you can use them within the augmentation classes. And for enabling macros, you have to first add this static a number of the specific version of the Dart and Flutter, and then you can enable it in your analyze option in your project.
All right. So, anyone heard of that? Someone is saying that Flutter is dying. Anyone heard of it? No? All right. It's okay. So Flutter is not dying. That's what I want to say. Because after Google I/O, everyone was saying that Flutter is deprecated. Google is going to use Kotlin multi-platform and so on. I'm surprised that actually Nav didn't express the Kotlin multi-platform a lot. But yeah, so here's the Google's official the recommendation of your cross-platform framework choice. So if you see, first one is if you want to use the latest feature of the Android, then what they're going to say, just use Kotlin. Makes sense. You want to make the Android application, so use Kotlin. But if you want to share the business logic code across the platform, like mobile, iOS, Android, and your web application, then what they're going to say, maybe you can try with Kotlin multi-platform, because now Google is officially support Kotlin multi-platform. But if you want to share UI code as well, beside of the business logic, then Flutter is still the thing, right? So if you want to share business logic and UI code across the platform, then try with the Flutter. That's basically the official statement. So that's what I want to say. And the article, I put the link here, this address. I'm going to share the slide later. But if you go there, this article is written by Android team and Flutter team together. So they are recommending this solution.
So let's do the summary of the session. So during Google I/O, we actually announced multiple things. So with Flutter, you have now impeller, macros, WASM, and some few things about AI. So you have here some links you can read and maybe try. Now I think it's your turn if you want to try Flutter. There's multiple things to discover. And yeah, thank you.